You know, I've been treating men with erectile dysfunction for over a decade, and if I had $1 for every time a patient walked into my office and said, "Doc, I think this is just my age catching up with me," I'd be retired by now. But here's what might surprise you, and this is something I see every single day in my practice. The root cause of most erectile dysfunction after 60 isn't actually your age. It's your blood circulation. And there's one specific route that can restore the hydraulic pressure your body needs for firm, reliable erections. I'm Dr. Sofia Martinez, and I'm a urologist who spent the last 10 years helping men reclaim their confidence and their intimate lives. Today I want to share with you something that most men don't know about erectile dysfunction, and it's not what you think. See, an erection is essentially a hydraulic event. Your penis needs blood to flow in, and it needs to stay there. When that system breaks down, it's not because you're too old, it's because the pathways that control blood flow have become compromised. Now, before we dive in, I want you to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because I share content like this regularly, and I don't want you to miss strategies that could transform your intimate life. Let me tell you about Frank, a 64-year-old patient who came to see me 6 months ago. He sat across from my desk, barely making eye contact, and said, "Dr. Martinez, I think that part of my life is over. My wife doesn't say anything, but I can see it in her eyes. I feel like I'm letting her down, and honestly, I'm starting to feel like less of a man." Frank's story broke my heart because I hear it so often, and because I know it doesn't have to be this way. Frank had tried everything he could think of. He'd experimented with those little blue pills, but they made him feel dizzy and gave him headaches. He'd tried supplements from the internet, changed his diet, even started exercising more. Nothing seemed to work consistently. He was frustrated, embarrassed, and ready to give up on intimacy altogether. But here's what Frank didn't know, and what most men don't realize, is that erectile dysfunction is almost always a circulation problem. Your penis has some of the smallest blood vessels in your body, and when circulation becomes sluggish, these are the first areas to be affected. It's like trying to water your garden with a kinked hose. The water just can't get through properly. Now, you might be thinking, "Dr. Martinez, I've heard about circulation before. I've tried everything." But I want to share something with you that changed everything for Frank, and it might change everything for you too. There's a root, a simple, natural root that you can find in most grocery stores, that has the power to restore the nitric oxide production in your blood vessels. And nitric oxide is the key molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open up, allowing blood to flow exactly where you need it. I call this the hydraulic restoration route, and in my practice, I've seen it help men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s regain the firmness and confidence they thought they'd lost forever. This isn't about masking symptoms with a pill. This is about giving your body the raw materials it needs to restore proper circulation naturally. The root I'm talking about is fresh ginger root. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ginger, that's it? But stay with me, because the science behind this is fascinating. Fresh ginger contains powerful compounds called gingerols and shogaols that have a direct effect on your blood vessels. They work by increasing the production of nitric oxide, which is essentially the open sesame command for your arteries. Here's how it works. When you consume fresh ginger, these compounds signal your blood vessels to produce more nitric oxide. Nitric oxide then tells the smooth muscle in your blood vessels to relax. When these muscles relax, your blood vessels widen, allowing more blood to flow through. This is exactly the same biological pathway that prescription medications target, but you're using a natural food to activate it. Frank started with just 2 thin slices of fresh ginger root every morning. He would peel a small piece of ginger, cut 2 thin slices, about the thickness of a coin, and chew them slowly after his morning coffee. The taste was intense at first, but he got used to it. Within 3 weeks, he noticed something changing. He started waking up with morning erections again, something that hadn't happened in over 2 years. But here's the key, and this is where most men go wrong. You have to use fresh ginger root, not powdered ginger, not ginger supplements, not ginger tea. The active compounds that boost nitric oxide production are most concentrated in the fresh root, and they start to break down when the ginger is processed or dried. The reason this works so well for men over 60 is that as we age, our bodies naturally produce less nitric oxide. This isn't just about erectile function, it affects your entire cardiovascular system. But ginger gives your body a natural boost in nitric oxide production, essentially turning back the clock on your circulation. Let me paint you a picture of what this could mean for you. Imagine waking up in the morning and feeling that familiar stirring, that confidence that your body is responding the way it should. Imagine looking forward to intimate moments with your partner instead of dreading them. Imagine feeling like yourself again, strong, confident, and capable. Now, I want to be clear about something. This isn't a magic cure that works overnight. Your body needs time to respond to increased nitric oxide production. Most of my patients start to notice changes within 2 to 3 weeks of consistent use. But the key word here is consistent. You need to make this a daily habit, just like Frank did. But improving nitric oxide production is just the first step in restoring optimal circulation. Your body also needs the right building blocks to maintain healthy blood vessels and sustain that improved blood flow. That's where the next piece of this puzzle comes in, and it's something that most men are unknowingly sabotaging every morning. Now, with your circulation pathways opening up thanks to the ginger's effect on nitric oxide production, your body needs the right building blocks to sustain those improvements. This is where most men unknowingly sabotage their progress without even realizing it. Frank, the patient I mentioned earlier, was doing everything right with his ginger routine. He was consistent, he was seeing some improvement, but after about a month, he came back to my office frustrated. "Dr. Martinez," he said, "it was working, but now it feels like I'm back to square one. Did my body get used to it?" This is a question I get often, and the answer isn't what most men expect. Frank's body hadn't gotten used to the ginger. The problem was that while he had improved his nitric oxide production, he hadn't addressed the nutritional deficiencies that were preventing his body from maintaining optimal blood vessel health. You see, producing nitric oxide is only half the equation. Your blood vessels need to be healthy enough to respond to that nitric oxide signal. And here's what I discovered in Frank's case, and in the cases of hundreds of men like him. There's a specific nutrient deficiency that's incredibly common in men over 60, and it directly impacts your ability to maintain firm erections. That nutrient is zinc. Now, I know what you're thinking. "Dr. Martinez, I've heard about zinc before. I tried a supplement and it didn't work." But here's the crucial difference. Most men take zinc supplements without understanding how zinc actually works in the context of erectile function. And more importantly, they don't know how to optimize their body's ability to absorb and use it. Zinc plays a critical role in testosterone production, but that's not its only function related to erectile health. Zinc is essential for the production of nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme that your body uses to create nitric oxide. Without adequate zinc, all the ginger in the world won't help you because your body can't efficiently convert the raw materials into the nitric oxide your blood vessels need. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is something that changed everything for Frank. The most bioavailable form of zinc for men over 60 isn't found in supplements. It's found in a specific food that most men either avoid or don't eat enough of: raw pumpkin seeds. Raw pumpkin seeds contain zinc in a form that's easily absorbed by your body, along with magnesium, which helps your blood vessels relax, and healthy fats that support hormone production. Frank started eating just 1 handful of raw pumpkin seeds every afternoon, and within 2 weeks, he noticed that his morning erections were not only returning, but becoming stronger and more consistent. The key is the timing. I recommend eating your pumpkin seeds in the afternoon, about 4 to 6 hours after your morning ginger routine. This gives your body time to process the nitric oxide boost from the ginger, and then provides the zinc and magnesium needed to sustain that improved circulation throughout the day and into the evening. But there's another piece of this puzzle that most men miss entirely, and it has to do with what you're drinking. I mentioned earlier that erectile dysfunction is essentially a hydraulic problem. Your penis needs blood to flow in and stay there. But if your blood is too thick or your body is dehydrated, Even perfect nitric oxide production and adequate zinc levels won't give you the results you're looking for. This is where I see men make a critical mistake. They focus on what to add to their diet, but they ignore what might be interfering with their body's natural hydraulic system. And the biggest culprit? The way most men hydrate, or rather, fail to hydrate properly. Most men over 60 don't drink enough water, and when they do drink water, they drink it in a way that actually works against optimal erectile function. They gulp down large amounts of water quickly, usually with meals, which dilutes their stomach acid and interferes with nutrient absorption. Or they drink most of their water in the evening, which leads to nighttime bathroom trips that disrupt sleep. And poor sleep directly impacts testosterone production. The solution is what I call strategic hydration, and it's something that transformed Frank's results almost immediately. Instead of drinking water randomly throughout the day, he started drinking exactly 16 ounces of water first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, about 30 minutes before his ginger routine. This morning hydration serves multiple purposes. First, it rehydrates your body after the natural dehydration that occurs during sleep. Second, it helps your body process the ginger more effectively. Third, it optimizes your blood volume and viscosity for the entire day, creating the ideal conditions for blood to flow efficiently to all parts of your body. But the timing doesn't stop there. Frank also started drinking another 16 ounces of water about 2 hours before any intimate activity he anticipated. This isn't just about hydration. It's about creating optimal hydraulic pressure in your cardiovascular system when you need it most. The results were remarkable. Frank went from having weak, unreliable erections to waking up with strong morning erections and feeling confident about intimate moments with his wife. But more importantly, he told me something that I hear from many of my patients. Dr. Martinez, I feel like myself again. I'm not avoiding intimacy anymore. I'm actually looking forward to it. This combination, the morning ginger for nitric oxide production, the afternoon pumpkin seeds for zinc and magnesium, and strategic hydration for optimal blood flow, creates what I call the circulation triangle. Each element supports the others, and together they address the three main physiological factors that contribute to erectile dysfunction in men over 60. But there's one more element that most men overlook, and it's something that can either amplify all these benefits or completely undermine them. It has to do with a hormone that's not testosterone. In fact, it's a hormone that most men have never heard of, but it has a direct impact on blood vessel health and sexual function. That hormone is called DHEAS, and your body's ability to produce it naturally declines significantly after age 50. When DHEAS levels drop, your blood vessels become less flexible, your body produces less nitric oxide, and your recovery time between erections increases. It's like trying to inflate a tire with a slow leak. No matter how much air you pump in, you can't maintain optimal pressure. The good news is that there's a simple, natural way to support your body's DHEAS production, and it involves something you probably already have in your kitchen. But the way you use it determines whether it helps or hinders your erectile function. This is the final piece of the puzzle that took Frank from inconsistent results to reliable, satisfying erections. Now, let me tell you about the hormone that changed everything for Frank and hundreds of my patients like him. DHEAS is what I call the youth hormone for men's sexual health. Your body produces this hormone naturally, but production drops by about 2% every year after age 30. By the time you're 60, you're producing less than half of what you did in your 20s. Here's why DHEAS is so crucial for erectile function. This hormone doesn't just support testosterone production. It directly affects the flexibility and responsiveness of your blood vessels. When DHEAS levels are optimal, your blood vessels can expand and contract efficiently. When levels are low, even with perfect nitric oxide production and adequate zinc, your blood vessels become sluggish and less responsive. Frank had been doing everything right: the morning ginger, the afternoon pumpkin seeds, the strategic hydration. He was seeing improvements, but they weren't consistent. Some days he'd wake up with strong morning erections, other days, nothing. Some evenings he'd feel confident and ready, other times his body wouldn't respond. This inconsistency was almost more frustrating than the original problem. That's when I introduced Frank to what I call the DHEAS activator, and it's something that most men have sitting in their spice cabinet right now. Cinnamon. But not just any cinnamon, and not used the way most people think. The key is Ceylon cinnamon, also called true cinnamon, which you can find at most health food stores or online. Regular cassia cinnamon, which is what most people have in their kitchen, contains compounds that can actually interfere with hormone production when used regularly. Ceylon cinnamon, on the other hand, contains specific compounds that support your body's natural DHEAS production. Frank started taking half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon mixed into a small glass of warm water every evening, about 2 hours before bedtime. The timing is crucial because your body produces most of its DHEAS during sleep, and the compounds in cinnamon need time to be absorbed and begin supporting this natural production cycle. Within 3 weeks, Frank noticed something remarkable. Not only were his erections becoming more consistent, but he was also sleeping better, waking up with more energy, and feeling more confident throughout the day. This wasn't just about sexual function, it was about overall vitality. But here's what makes this entire system work so powerfully together. The morning ginger increases nitric oxide production, giving your blood vessels the signal to relax and open. The afternoon pumpkin seeds provide the zinc and magnesium your body needs to sustain that improved circulation. The strategic hydration ensures optimal blood volume and pressure. And the evening cinnamon supports the hormone production that keeps your blood vessels flexible and responsive. It's like having a 4-part symphony playing in your body. Each element supports the others, and together they create something much more powerful than any single intervention could achieve alone. Frank described it perfectly when he came to see me 3 months later. "Dr. Martinez," he said, "I feel like I've gotten my body back. Not just the sexual part, but all of it. I wake up feeling like myself again. My wife and I are closer than we've been in years. I'm not avoiding intimacy anymore. I'm actually looking forward to it." This is what I want for every man who's struggled with erectile dysfunction. The feeling of confidence, of knowing that your body is reliable and responsive. The joy of intimacy without anxiety. The connection with your partner that comes from feeling fully present and capable. But there's one more element I want to share with you, because it's something that can either amplify all these benefits or completely undermine them. It's about timing, specifically the timing of when you eat your last meal of the day. Most men eat dinner late, often within 2 or 3 hours of bedtime. This creates a problem because your body is trying to digest food at the same time it should be producing hormones and repairing tissues. When your digestive system is working overtime, your body can't efficiently produce the DHEAS and testosterone you need for optimal sexual function. Frank made one simple change. He started eating his last meal at least 4 hours before bedtime. This gave his body time to complete the digestion process and shift into repair and hormone production mode. The difference was noticeable within a week. Deeper sleep, stronger morning erections, and more consistent energy throughout the day. So here's the complete system that has transformed erectile function for hundreds of my patients. Morning. 2 thin slices of fresh ginger root, chewed slowly, 30 minutes after drinking 16 ounces of water on an empty stomach. Afternoon. 1 handful of raw pumpkin seeds, eaten slowly and chewed thoroughly. Evening. Half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon mixed in warm water, 2 hours before bedtime. Throughout the day, strategic hydration, another 16 ounces of water about 2 hours before any anticipated intimate activity. Timing. Last meal at least 4 hours before bedtime to optimize hormone production during sleep. This isn't just about treating erectile dysfunction, it's about restoring your body's natural ability to function optimally. It's about giving your cardiovascular system, your hormone production, and your overall vitality the support they need to work as they were designed to work. I want you to imagine what this could mean for your life. Picture yourself waking up in the morning with that familiar stirring, that confidence that your body is responding as it should. Imagine looking forward to intimate moments with your partner instead of dreading them. Think about the relief of knowing that you have a reliable, natural system supporting your sexual health. Frank told me something that I'll never forget. Dr. Martinez, I realized that I had been grieving the loss of my sexual self. I thought that part of my life was over. But now I understand that it wasn't over. It was just sleeping. And now it's awake again. This is more than just physical function. It's about reclaiming a fundamental part of your identity as a man. It's about the confidence that comes from knowing your body is working with you, not against you. It's about the intimacy and connection that make life rich and meaningful. The ingredients I've shared with you today aren't expensive or exotic. They're simple, natural foods that work with your body's existing systems to restore optimal function. But consistency is key. Your body needs time to respond to these changes, typically 2 to 3 weeks to notice initial improvements, and 6 to 8 weeks for full benefits. Remember, erectile dysfunction isn't a life sentence. It's not an inevitable consequence of aging. It's a signal that your body needs support, and now you have the tools to provide that support naturally and effectively. If you found this information helpful, please share it with other men who might be struggling silently with these issues. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future videos about natural approaches to men's health. Your intimate life doesn't have an expiration date. Your body was designed to function optimally throughout your life. Give it the right tools, the right nutrients, and the right support, and you might be surprised by what's possible. Take that first step today. Your body and your partner will thank you.